So in the last video I was talking about how you can make these solar pumps to be used for a fountain, which is really simple, obviously, because you're just getting the fountain attachment. There are lots of different types of these that are included with the kit. Right, so basically when you're making the fountain, what I showed last time is this is in the water plugged into the solar panel. You put this on top and it makes the spray of water come out of here, and you can have lots of different effects. There's a volume on the top, so you can have it higher or lower depending on how big your pond is. You can have it so the water comes in a bowl like this, which I'll show in a minute, or you can have it in a high fountain. That's all nice and simple, but probably the most common use for these is to make waterfalls or water coming out of a statue, that kind of thing, that type of water feature. So I'm going to show how that works today, and again it's really simple. So obviously if we're going to try and pump water up either to make a natural looking waterfall, or we want it to come out of an urn or a statue or something like that, we don't need this. So this is unscrewed and taken off, and on top here there's a volume control which adjusts the fountain, like I said before, so you can make it so it goes either higher or lower depending on what you want. You can see that's turning the volume control in there. So this is the fountain pump we were using before to make the lovely fountain feature. But a lot of times people want to use this to run either a waterfall or maybe a statue or an urn or something like that, some kind of water feature anyway. Well, it really couldn't be simpler. Before we had on the fountain head piece, which was nice and simple, but instead we just use this piece which comes with it. We screw that on, and that leaves it so that it can take a pipe on top. It'll take a couple of different sizes of pipe. I'll explain why now. And we know it's really very simple. When you've got a hose pipe, as you know, if you put your finger over the end, it comes out quite fast and goes further. So if you were making this to go out of a statue or an urn, and you wanted the water to be coming out in a jet, like you might picture like a fish statue with it, you know, pouring out of its mouth, then you'd probably want this small piece of hose, quite a narrow diameter, and that'll make the water faster and go further. If you're wanting to make more of a natural water feature, you would probably have a slightly wider, larger diameter hose, so the water comes out slowly, or maybe a little bit wider. But I will show you another trick with that, because this tube that it comes with, if the water was left to come straight out of here, it would be gushing out quite fast. Whereas if you had something like a smooth flat stone like this, and you had the water running off there, obviously it would spread out and it would go flatter and slower, and it would have the effect of being a more natural type of water feature. But I'm going to show that now. It's really very simple. So all we do is we screw the tube into the end of here after removing this little end cap and plug it into the solar panel. Simple as that. I'm going to plug this in now in the bright sunshine so we can see just how high this fountain's going to go as a fountain before I turn it into a waterfall. There we go, nearly the height of me. Well, a bit higher than me. Beautiful. But we're going to do it as a fountain.